It's a bad day for patrol owners.
Over 2,000 kilometres from home, halfway across the country and in the middle of the Tasmanian bush with a suspected blown gearbox. In this episode, we finish the journey out of the bush and attempt to piece back together the busted GQ. This episode is supported by Tread, Superior Engineering, Opus Campers, and in part by
well, we do have ourselves a little bit of a situation. If you watched the last episode, we finished it off doing Willamette Creek Track, Tassie, out the Huon River area, and well, the track really took its toll on us. A little bit of vehicle damage, a few things going wrong. The main thing being the gearbox in my GQ Patrol blew up on the track. We think it was the input shaft because it just went bang and I lost complete drive, all gears. Nothing would work whatsoever. It was an absolute mission to get the car out of there. So it was pretty much Tim in his GQ towing me on the track where he could, and then there was two sections where we had to spend a long time winching mine up a dead car. So we got out of the track 11:33 last night, and yeah, Tim towed me down to camp here on the Huon River. And now today is the continuation of the story where we have to get this car out of the bush, out to a town, and then try and come up with a plan to, I don't know, fix it. Tim does have the mechanical skills to replace the gearbox, so if we find a place to do it, then we can do it ourselves.
Big TD's alive.
Alive and running.
You all good?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. We're up out of there. We'll change to the front now and head that way. On the dirt road now, heading towards Judbury. I think it's about 15 k's or so. We're not too far from the town now. I'm just setting up the tyres, so it'll make it a bit easier to pull me. This is the other thing that happened in that track yesterday too. Tim got a log in the guard here and took all that out. The track got us real good. We started at like 5 o'clock as well. It was the old one more, no more track, and yeah, it was no more cars gone. See you later. So update on the video. This is a good thing about Tim, which knows everyone in Tassie. Tim's made one phone call, and what have you worked out for us?
Go on, monks. He dead set just called me, getting back to me about a couple of things I asked him yesterday.
Yeah.
And I said, because he's the one that actually told us about Willamette.
It stitches up.
Yeah. And yeah, seeing how we got on in there, and I mentioned that we blew the gearbox, and he said, oh, all right. He said, I've got a car trailer. I've just got off work. He said, I'll come and put it on the car trailer and get you into his mate's place, Frenchie, who's got a hoist and that there. So we pretty much got everything but a gearbox sorted.
So now we just need to find a gearbox.
Yeah.
And then we'll get her on.
Yep.
Mate, quick bloody solutions.
Yeah. Bloody oath. Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. Try to wash the car off as best as I can, but still going to be, so there's that much mud on it. Tim's just dropped me here. Kyle should be here pretty soon. He can park the trailer and put me on. It's a bad day for patrol owners.
I'll interrupt the video for a quick second. I know you guys are going to be having an absolute field day in the comments. Yes, Nissan Patrol being towed by a Toyota Land Cruiser. But I figured I'd make the most of the situation and advertise the brand new merch we had. This was just recently released at the Brisbane 4-Wheel Drive show. We do have some stock still left online. Toyota Recovery Crew shirts, front and the back. Or if you drive a Land Cruiser, you may want a Nissan Recovery shirt and the back, as well as stickers too. These are all available on our website now, tylerthompson.com.au.
Alright, made the drive. Kyle picked us up. And now Kai and I are going to take Tim's GQ and go for a drive to pick up a gearbox, which we've found. So $500 for a gearbox and transfer case. That's about an hour away. We're going to go pick that up. Tim is going to start, not Kai, don't know if Kai knows how to pull out a gearbox. Do you know how to pull out a gearbox?
I don't know what a gearbox is.
Tim's going to start pulling mine out while we go pick this up.
So we've got the rear tail shaft out, front tail shaft out. I've taken the front bit of the exhaust out just so we can get around the slave cylinder a bit easier, and these starter motors just come out. And so next up, I think I'm going to take all the gear stick and everything out and then undo some bell housing bolts. Tyler's still going and picking up the other gearbox at the moment. Kyle's just gone home for a while and Colby's here with me at the moment. We are just getting the last of this box out, then hopefully we'll have it out by the time Tyler gets back. We'll have a look at the damage and then bung the new one in. Let's do it. All right, so we got the gearbox separated from the motor and we're just about to drop it down. I know we have a hoist here, so it might seem stupid to everyone watching that we're doing it on the ground, but my name's Timmy Westwood and that's all you need to know.
How we grab it in a row?
I reckon we get that transfer off the back because we've got to change that over anyway. They still turn those gears, eh? Maybe hopefully it's a transfer. I'll be pissed off if it's a transfer because we didn't have to take the box out.
Yeah, listen to that though.
Why don't we put that back on, put the shifter in, and we can change gears and see if it moves the tail shaft.
Yeah.
Alright, that's first. Anything?
No.
Alright, let's whip that transfer off then.
Yeah.
You should see the extensions on extensions on extensions I had to get these. There you go, Tyler.
Is that what it is?
That's how I got the 2 bell housing bolts out. Just watch that sensor. This would be a lot more official than like the mechanic work you've seen in the shop there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that's working. So it's a transfer. Transfer.
So what do you reckon it's done in the transfer?
Well, that's not even getting to the chain yet. That's it. That's in here. It's like it's, but there was no teeth in the
Oil.
in the oil either.
You got
Well,
one
I don't know, but could have like snapped the chain.
Nah, well,
You're slapping, you'd hear it.
even if it snapped the chain, you'd still have drive to the rear of the chain and it transfers to the front. Yeah, that's perfect.
So didn't even need to get all that gearbox out.
I'm pretty salty about that because they're get back in.
Well,
We could have just dropped this off the others.
If only we done what you wanted to do and pulled the transfer off first.
Well-
I'm saying.
I thought that's what you said you were talking about doing originally.
Well, wait, you said to me, you said, I'll do it to transfer because it's got new bearings.
I did say that. I did say that.
Oh well, she's off now.
But yeah, that's a bit of a dog. Oh, where's that WD?
And I'll probably come back here after.
Was you recording that?
I nearly wore that in my face. Thought of that. Boy, so it's the spline that, the main shaft is, how far are we going to dive into this thing? Like you need gear pullers and all to get any further.
12:20, bloody hell, couple of big nights. I got back here about 10:30 with the gearbox. Kai and I stopped in Hobart and got some pizza for dinner. And then, I don't know, I'm honestly too tired to think. I don't know what's happened at this point. Last night we were out all night. Tonight we're building cars, fixing cars all night. So the gearbox is fine.
You can put it into first, turn the input and it spins slow. Put it in second, turn the input, it spins a bit faster. So basically all gears are working in the gearbox. However, when we took the transfer case off, you can spin the input on the transfer and it's getting no output at the rear or the front wheels. So, however, the front and rear drive at the back of the transfer are locked together. So the chain end of the transfer is fine. The input of the transfer is not. Yeah, you need a proper bearing puller to get any deeper into it, but that's all right. I've got it somewhere I can leave that transfer, and we have a transfer to bolt back onto your gearbox to put all in the car. So you're going to be right to be driving for the rest of this trip, just minus reductions.
Yeah.
And with that transfer case, I'll leave it with Colby and Kyle, and once we're off this trip, I'll organise to get it back off them. I'll strip it apart further, and whatever is good to be sent back to you, I can send back to you. And if there's one part or two part that needs replacing from Mark's, then we can do that.
Yeah, that's the. Otherwise, we've probably just thrown that transfer straight in the bin. But it's got my reduction gears in it, which I don't want to just throw my reduction gears in the bin. At this point, we think the reduction gears could be all fine. The gearing could be fine. Yeah. So we're just sleeping in the shed tonight. We're setting up our swags now, go to bed, and then tomorrow we reassemble this car and get back on the road.
Absolutely.
Within 48 hours, we destroyed and repaired, rebuilt, fixed the GQ.
And I also wanted to say thanks heaps to Hayden French. That's whose shed we're in.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Thanks
That's
very
easy
much,
shed.
mate.
We'll go to bed.
Yeah, cheers guys.
Back again the next morning, had a little bit of breakfast, all pretty exhausted. I had a thought, did we say why we pulled the whole gearbox out yet? To replace it, and then we worked out it was a broken transfer.
Well,
We thought it was a gearbox. Yeah. So that's why the whole gearbox
I
out.
had a lot of people telling me that the transfer will be okay because it was built with all new stuff.
Yeah, but it wasn't okay. So
Wasn't
that's
okay.
so we basically doubled the job. But anyways, so this is obviously the other gearbox and transfer I picked up. So we're going to pull that transfer case off that gearbox. We're just going to leave that gearbox because we know that my gearbox I had on still works. We'll bolt onto this gearbox. Tim and Colby back there started putting that stuff in. I'm come down to the shops here to get some gear oil and a couple bits we need. We got snacks, we got stuff. I got a heap of degreaser because that gearbox made a big mess of Tim's tray, so we're gonna wash that down. And then gear oil to fill up the transfer and gearbox. We'll head back and see how the others are going getting that box in.
So I've just got me and Colby just managed to kick that box back in. I'm under strict instructions from Tyler's mechanic to make sure I put slabs all around the bell housing, so I'm going to do that now. And then we'll get some bell housing bolts in. But yeah, I'll show you the box in there all lined up. So you can see through there, just behind the slave cylinder there, that the box is in. There's just a little gap. That's alright, it slid most of the way in. That'll pull the rest of the way with the bolts. So we'll get started. I've just got the last of the sensors all buttoned up. I'm about to poke your handbrake cable through the floor. Well, not too long ago we were stuck on a track with no drive, so...
Yeah.
I mean, most people, if they blew a box, they'd have a car sitting around in a yard for weeks.
Not you, mate.
Oh, well,
You get it done.
hey, that's what we're here for.
Yeah. TD King.
TD. Close up, man.
Yeah. So that's it. She's done. Ready to go, mate.
She's done, mate, and I'm filthy and very tired.
You're a mess. But now we'll start her up, take her for a drive, and see if we got a running car again.
This is
game on again for the TDGQ. That's it. Car is working. Back on the road. Just a little bit of a tidy up to do, and we're gonna have to clean up all the mess we've made in this shed here too. But
Big thanks to Colby, Monks, Kyle Monks, and Hayden French too.
basically, would have been screwed without the help from everyone. So yeah, huge, massive thanks, because I'm like 2,500 kilometers from home, 3,000 across the bloody ocean, whatever it is. So you know, to get it done like this has been really, really good. I am with. People may wonder, like, do you have roadside assistance? I'm actually with NRMA, but this was the quicker, like, most convenient way to get me back on the road. If I had went through NRMA, you would have had to get it towed to a proper mechanics, and then they'd be like, oh yeah, we'll try and find some, try and find parts for you, try and get you in, all that sort of stuff. So that was just why we went down the road of trying to get it done ourselves, because we knew we'd be able to get done much quicker. But yeah, and massive thanks to Tim as well. Just like worked his ass off for the last 48 hours, towing me out of the bush and putting a new box and everything in here. We're going to clean up. We're actually going to get a hotel for the next night or two, because I've been on the road for a couple of weeks now. We really need to do some washing, have some showers, and then come up with a plan to, I've only got, after that I'll only have maybe 4 or 5 more nights in Tassie, so we'll find some more stuff to do while we're down here. So that'll be the next episode or two, the last bit of my Tassie trip.
Alright, this is the transfer case we lost drive. I think I might start tearing into it. Might get a parts box though. Screw it, I'm pretty clever. Menu log, mint. Yeah, I can already see the issue, to be honest with you. There's broken gears in the end of this. I'll try and get it on video. That's the end of the main shaft. Actually, it's where the lay shaft goes over the main shaft. Not a selector, oh man. Yeah, that's alright. We'll keep diving in while I eat some Maccas. It's pretty much the only gate entry to being able to do reduction gears yourself, like having the right pullers. All of this looks pretty good, like the back of the case. Rollers look good. I can hear all the pieces rolling around in here, eh? So we have the culprit. This here is the selector gear. So this is the engagement gear that's broken. And then it's actually broken the arm off the selector as well. I haven't had a good examine of the gears. It has caused, like, just every now and then there's a little shitty nick in a tooth, but I honestly think it'll go again. And it's not even where like Nick would have ground it down for what Marks asks for. It's like it broke right out here. You only grind down this bit in the instructions, and it broke right out here. Whether this broke first and then that, or whether that broke first and that, like, who knows? But yeah, super interesting. So I've chucked the other pieces out, but I'll show you this. You can see this here was riding way too aggressively on the bottom of that gear. I think it's gotten hot to the point that it's broken this side off, and then that broke this in the other one. It had a big heat mark across one shoulder and a big grind mark out of it, and then it's gotten weak to the point that it's brittle, because it's obviously, these are cast and then machined to the point that it's broken. So Nick, you probably know Nick from Tyler's channel. It's his mechanic. He sent me down some more parts, and I'm just reassembling everything in Tyler's reduction gear transfer case. So luckily it looks like we've gotten away scot-free. These gears are all good. All the low range gears are in good nick. There's a little rub mark there, which is probably where naughty parts have been running through, but I think we can live with that. So I'll get assembling and yeah, we'll get it back in the car before he comes down.
Just before the video finishes, I want to take a second again to thank Timmy for getting me out of this whole situation and back on the road in Tassie. I've had quite a few people sort of commenting and messaging, oh, where can I, chat to Timmy or check out his car build, all those sorts of things. So if you want to follow what he does, I'll put his Instagram up here and his YouTube up here. He does a few of his own videos as well, some trips and the chop build of his GQ, lots of cool things like that. So if you want to check him out, there it is.
So I'll just be reversing up, I guess, while he pulls.
If you've seen my channel, you know I don't like actually filming things. I just talk about it once I've done it. So we just got the box in. I don't know if you can see that. Through that gap there. Oh, that was zoomed all the way in. I better do that again. So I have just got